streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Whoa, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Let's go racing indeed. That's what we're here to do today with the Pace-O-Matic 99 for the Smart Modified Tour. 99 laps of battle for these mighty modifieds around this 3/8 of a mile racetrack today in the western part of South Carolina. We do have some weather that we are looking at to the west of us. We believe that we have the opportunity to get this entire race in today, but we are going to be cognizant of that throughout this entire race. The Carolina Drilling and CitrusSafe drone camera will be providing some unique views of this beautiful facility and the crowd continuing to come in here. After the Smart Modified Tour, there will be plenty of other local racing, which you will be able to see right here on FloRacing this evening. It's about time we kick off driver introductions for a strong 25-car field with a bunch of stars from modified racing all over the country. So without further ado, let's kick things off here today. Here's the starting lineup for the Pace-O-Matic 99. Starting 25th, he drives the number 22, a top 10 finisher at the King of the Modifieds at South Boston Speedway a couple of years ago. Out of Advance, North Carolina, it's Jason Tutterow. Starting 24th, this driver last year, a handful of top 10 runs for him. He's in the Yates Grading and Paving number 18 out of Lexington, North Carolina. It's Daniel Yates. Starting 23rd, we call him the nice guy. He drives the number 21 car, and he's been running here at Anderson for quite some time in modifieds as well as late models. Put your hands together for the 21 of Jimmy Wallace. Starting to the outside of row number 11. He'll start 22nd here today. He's out of Harrisburg, North Carolina, one of the Rookie of the Year competitors with the Smart Modified Tour for the 14 of Austin McDaniel. One of the legends of our series. Lines up on the inside of row number 11. He'll start 21st today, making a return to the Smart Modified Tour for the first time in many years. The driver of the 71 and a former winner in Tour Type Modified Series racing here at Anderson, it's the Mayberry Bullet, John Smith. Starting 20th, one of the Racing Electronics Rookie of the Year competitors. He's out of Long Island, New York, in the 45 for Joe Denseski, it's Max Hanley. Starting 19th, also from Long Island, New York, out of Northport, in the number 77 PSR ride for Will Lambros. Starting 18th, in the number 8 car, out of Concord, North Carolina, by way of Worcester, Massachusetts, it's the number 8 of John Michael Jeanette. This kid impressed 1 week ago at the opener at Florence Motor Speedway, picked up the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award. Out of Babylon, New York, this week in a number 99 for Jamie and Cheryl Tomino, it's Sean McIlerney. Starting 16th, 4th generation Myers family to compete in modified racing. Out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the number 4, it's Slate Myers. Another Long Islander will start 15th. He's out of Manorville in the number 24 Amerifast car for Joey Braun. Starting 14th, the winner of the Smart Modified Tour at Coastal Plains Raceway 1 year ago. Out of Oxford, North Carolina, in the Hillbilly Racing number 79, it's J. Cash, Jonathan Cash. Lucky number 13 starting spot goes to this driver out of Miami Springs, Florida, a former winner in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in the Gray Ghost 02 for Joey Coulter. Starting 12th in the Factory 39 team. Out of Mooresville, North Carolina, by way of Waverly, New York, it's Bryce Bailey. In the 11th starting spot for this one, he drives the Bass Pro Shops Cabela's number 2 for Randy Renfro. Out of South Bend, Indiana, it's the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman. And here are your top 10 starters in today's starting lineup in a brand new prototype chassis. This driver from Ontario, Canada, a former champion in the NASCAR wars north of the border for the 13 of Caden Lapsevich. In the 9th spot in the 16 VA for Sadler Stanley Racing with Pace-O-Matic on the side of this race car. Out of Hampton, Virginia, it's late model stock car competitor Connor Hall. A second-generation driver lines up in the 8th starting spot. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina in the Bass Pro Shops number 40 for Carter McMurray. Starting 7th. That might be a good omen for him today. In the Stoke Shoes 7NY out of Mooresville, North Carolina, third-generation modified racer for Jack Baldwin. In the 6th spot out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, a 3-time Smart Modified Tour champion for the Ace, Burt Myers. In the 5th starting spot, he'll be in the Shady Grady Racing number 15 here today. From Clemens, North Carolina, he's a competitor full-time on the Z-Max Car Store Late Model Stock Car Wars. It's Carson Lofton. The Pace-O-Matic pole sitter today at Anderson Motor Speedway with a new track record is behind the wheel of the 7VA. He will line up on the outside of row number 2 for Luke Baldwin. On the inside of that row, starting 3rd in a brand new prototype chassis. This driver out of North Carolina, former late model stock car competitor himself for Jake the Snake Crum. And on the front row for this 99-lap race today for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Out of Freehold, New Jersey, by way of Wall Stadium, a 2-time winner with the Smart Modified Tour in 2025. In the 25 car, it's Danny Bad to the Bone. And on the point, leading the field to the green flag in the KevinSaysYes.com Polaris Outdoors 04 machine. He's a 2-time NASCAR modified champion at Bowman Gray Stadium out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's Brandon Ward. And that is your starting lineup, 25 strong today for the Pace-O-Matic 99 at Anderson Motor Speedway. I am Bob Dillner. Alongside of me is Will Battershell. And Will, it's hot, it's sticky, humid for sure, because Mother Nature is about an hour, hour and a half to the west of us with a big line of storms coming. But we believe that 99 laps will be okay for this race here today at Anderson.
Absolutely, and one thing that we saw that's going to be really interesting, it did rain a little bit, and now the sun's out, and we really have not seen the sun at all day. So the handling on these cars is going to be a little bit different, and I wouldn't be surprised with the first caution that we see some cars pit to get that adjustment.
So many storylines in this race here today as we take a look from our CitraSafe Carolina Drilling drone coverage on our FloRacing broadcast. We mentioned these 25 cars. We got winners and champions and youth on the rise in motorsports competing here today with the Smart Modified Tour. And if you look at the car on the outside of the second row, Luke Baldwin, he's the 2-time defending champion, hoping to bounce back after a tough season opener last week in Florence, South Carolina.
and he started it off perfectly with qualifying on pole. The redraw didn't go his way, so he's going to start in that 4th position. But he has a really fast race car, and we saw this last year too, where first race, unfortunate situation, and then he comes and bounces back and dominates the race, and he is showing that 7NY or 7VA is very fast.
Yeah, we do have the 7NY in the starting lineup. That car will start on the inside of row number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to head downstairs for the command to fire engines. And what we'll do here is we'll take it from the booth. And I want the fans to actually help me out here today to get these things fired. 600 horsepower times 25 strong. So I'll count down from 3, 2, 1. Drivers, start your engines. The rumble of 600 horsepower being felt in Anderson, South Carolina. This is the 2nd straight year that the Smart Modified Tour has visited this historic facility in the Palmetto State. It had not been here prior to last year since 2001. A big gap. But this is the 4th race in the history of the Smart Tour at Anderson Motor Speedway. And there the cars are pulling off of pit road to circle around this 3/8 of a mile oval. We arrived this morning to cloudy conditions, maybe a little bit of a mist just north of here, but here is overhead above this famous facility in South Carolina. And the starting lineup for the Pace-O-Matic 99 looks like this. Brandon Ward, Danny Bone on the front row, 2 big-time veteran competitors in this starting lineup.
Yeah, 2nd row we have Jake Crum and Luke Baldwin, 2 very fast race cars looking to bounce back after an unfortunate first race at Florence.
A Lofton and a Myers in the same row in the starting lineup for a Smart Tour race. Sounds like years ago when Brian Lofton and Burt Myers would go at it, but here is the veteran Burton Myers starting 6th, and Carson Lofton, the kid, the teenager, on the inside of row number 3.
Row 4, you have 2 sophomores of the series, Jack Baldwin and Carter McMurray, looking to continue that momentum that they had week 1 in Florence.
First Tour type modified start for Connor Hall, and the late model stock car veteran will line up on the inside of row number 5. Hayden Lapsevich, who runs anything with wheels, he's from Canada, on the outside of row number 5.
Row 6, you have Ryan Newman and Bryce Bailey. Bryce Bailey making his first start in the 39 factory car today for the series.
You take a look at this starting lineup, it is littered with superstars. Former NASCAR Truck Series winner Joey Coulter will line up 13th. Jonathan Cash, who won last year at Coastal Plains Raceway, this year in the 79 on the outside of row number 7.
In row number 8, you have another set of sophomores. You have Joey Braun in the 24 and Slate Myers in the 4 car.
Sean McInerney, 2nd straight week with the Smart Modified Tour, making his 2nd career start and with his 2nd car, the 99 this time for Sean McInerney. John Michael Chanette in the number 8 alongside of him.
In row 10, you have a pair of rookies with Will Lambros in the 77 and Max Hanley in the 45 NC.
Mayberry Bullet, John Smith in the 71 on the inside of row number 11. Austin McDaniel, the Racing Electronics Rookie of the Year competitor. In the Bobby Meismer, Kevin Hughes, number 14. Then rounding out the field, it's Jimmy Wallace, Daniel Yates, and also Jason Tutterow in the number 22 machine. So 99 laps will be the battle today. Just a couple of reminders. If you think about this race, there's a lot of strategy that's involved. At the end of lap 30 will be the conclusion of Bell Helmet stage number 1. And then after that, they will go the rest of the distance. If there's not another caution, there won't be one. No other competition cautions in the Smart Modified Tour. But a lot of strategy involved here, because when will people stop for that one coveted right rear tire? Most likely that they will take during this race. Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to get up out of your seat and stand up. It's time to pay tribute to the men and the machines of the Smart Modified Tour. 600 horsepower, you gotta love it, because this is our salute to open wheels, chrome horns, and 600 horsepower. The ground pounders, the Mod Squad. This is the Smart Modified Tour. And a big thank you to Pace-O-Matic for all they do, not just for this race as the title sponsor, but the presenting sponsor of the entire series. Chris Williams and the entire staff, they work hard, but it would not be without the support of Pace-O-Matic, which makes this series possible at tracks all across the Mid-Atlantic. So many storylines coming into this one here today. Look no further than the front row. The 04 Brandon Ward announces over the winter that he's going full-time Smart Modified Tour racing. He's a serious championship contender, but so is the guy on the outside who won 2 races in just 9 events last year, Danny Bone in the 25.
And we saw those two really show their strengths last week at Florence, and the two vets really dominated the race, so expect to see a lot of the same with them starting 1-2 once again.
For the second straight week, the Smart Modified Tour is racing in the Palmetto State. This is the Pace-O-Matic 99. So ladies and gentlemen, by the grace of God and 600 horsepower, here is the Smart Modified Tour at Anderson Motor Speedway. Brandon Ward, Danny Bone, toe-to-toe down the backstretch. This is a 2-groove racetrack. You can make that outside groove work, and that's exactly what Danny Bone is doing right now. In fact, he's got a little momentum, and Danny Bone in the 25 grams the lead here at Anderson in the Pace-O-Matic 99.
And we're going to see a lot different racing style than what we saw last week at Florence, to where you can run both those lanes and you will see people choose that outside to get around the other drivers.
Jake Crum falls into third. Battle is for fourth between a pair of young guns. Luke Baldwin on the outside, Carson Lofton on the inside. Brandon Ward thought about going to the outside of Danny Bone, kind of open up the door for Jake Crum, who's in one of those brand new prototype machines. Had himself a good run last week, a good run here at Anderson last year, and Crum already on the charge in that one car.
We saw these 3 cars up front pretty much all race last week, and same thing now, to where the 1, the 25, and the 04 are just really flexing their muscles at the start.
So it's Danny Bone with Jake Crum looking underneath. Brandon Ward in the 3rd spot. Here comes Crum. Crum to the inside of Danny Bone. Veteran versus a late model stock car veteran. Jake Crum came over to the Modifieds a few years ago and now finds his home with the Smart Modified Tour. His wife, Annabeth Crum, a veteran of the late model stock car wars as well. But Crum, this is his own race car. He built it, prepared it, and finished it right before the opener last week at Florence Motor Speedway. And for the 2nd straight week, this car is very fast.
It's going to be interesting to see, because tires will play an effect at this race. So will Crum use too much now and then fade out, or is it a little bit of a different situation to where these tires aren't falling off like the drivers expected?
Look at this battle. Lofton and Baldwin still going at it. Baldwin, miserable week last week in the opener. A DNF. He's way behind the 8 ball when it comes to this points race, trying to get that title for the 3rd straight year.
And he's just kind of minding his business right now, taking the gaps when they appear, and not really pushing the issue as he gets around Lofton and just kind of running his own race to start.
Maybe that car a little bit tight right now, because you see Baldwin trying to put that left front tire down on the apron to turn it in the middle of the corner. Jonathan Cash gets a spot. Jay Cash in the 79 orange machine is able to pick up the spot. So Jonathan Cash moving through the field a little bit. You see Carter McMurray in the number 40, and that's Caden Lapsevich in the white number 13, a brand new race car debuting today at Anderson. Lapsevich a former NASCAR Canada Series champion. McMurray fades back, now under the attack of the Gray Ghost, the 02 of Coulter. Coulter did not qualify well. It's something that has plagued this driver for the last year and a half, but McMurray can't keep the car to the bottom. That's going to open up the door to the bottom side of Joey Coulter. Here comes Jack Baldwin in the Stoke Shoes machine.
And Jack Baldwin's had a little bit of a rough start of the race. Started 7th, has fallen all the way back to 12th. So the handling on that car, probably not what he's looking for.
So McMurray in that black and orange number 40 holds down the 10th spot. Everybody battling to get in the top 10. Behind that, you see the 16 machine as well. Connor Hall, the ZMAX Cars Tour regular for the past couple of years, battling in his first modified race for Sadler Stanley Racing, but some good racing in the opening laps of this race, including that blue number 45 car. He's a Racing Electronics Rookie of the Year competitor, Max Hanley out of Long Island, New York. And how about this for Max Hanley? He missed his rehearsal dinner for Jack Hanley, his brother's wedding, which is tomorrow. After this race, he's got to drive 12 hours to New Jersey to attend his brother's wedding as his best man.
That is just the dedicated life of a racer right there, coming and racing in Anderson and then going all the way back up. That just sounds like a great weekend.
We're showing you these battles outside the top 10 right now, because up front it looks like this. Danny Bone right now has that top spot. Second is Jake Crum. Third is Brandon Ward. And how about Burt Myers? Burt Myers, who's a force to be reckoned with in Anderson and a force to be reckoned with for Brandon Ward. Burt Myers moves his way up to the 3rd spot. And this is a track that Burt Myers has a lot of experience at. 3 prior Smart races here at this racetrack, all top 10 runs for him here with the Smart Series. But remember, he did win a Coma modified race back in 2015 at Anderson.
Burt Myers has a ton of experience, and it's going to show. It's already showed with him jumping up from 6th up to 3rd just from the first 20 laps of the race.
Yeah, Burt Myers now solely in that 3rd spot, little gap between he and the leaders, and then he in the 4th place running Brandon Ward. No difference in the top 5, but we do have a gaggle of race cars still battling from about 6 on back, including Luke Baldwin, Jonathan Cash. Slate Myers is in the top 10 as well right now, battling in the latter part of that top 10. There is the gaggle of cars. You see Joey Coulter not afraid to go to the outside, trying to work that 02 gray machine to the outside of Slate Myers, the sophomore driver.
And it's a very common theme for Joey Coulter to maybe not qualify like he wants to, but then the race pace in that car is so much better than the qualifying pace.
Coulter is moving. He's by Slate Myers, so Coulter now up to 8th, trying to get 7th from Jonathan Cash. Cash told us during the Pace-O-Matic pit party he doesn't necessarily like this racetrack. It's old, it's worn out, you got to save your tires. He's a hard charger. He likes to go for it right now, trying to bide his time as Lapsevich moves to the outside in that white machine on the outside of Slate Myers.
And Lapsevich kind of just saw what Coulter's doing, and he was like, you know what, if nobody's there, I might as well go with him. And he's already making up passes as he's side by side with Slate Myers.
Little contact going into turn number 1 last time by. It was the 02 machine of Coulter, kind of getting into the back end of Luke Baldwin a little bit. Luke Baldwin, don't know if he's saving his stuff or what, and that's what I would imagine right now, saving his stuff, as Lapsevich comes up a little bit loose coming off the corner. Is might lose a spot to Connor Hall in that black and yellow Pace-O-Matic 16 car, but it's Baldwin, his teammate, that is trying to fend off Joey Coulter. And this right now, battle inside the top 10 for 6th. Up front, Jake Crum still hounding Danny Bone. We saw this last week. Those 2 guys go out at Florence Motor Speedway. Jake Crum got in an incident in a late race restart, stopped on the racetrack, came back to finish in the top 10, but Danny Bone had himself a good run, was leading late in the race, and lost that lead on a restart late in the going and wound up with a top 3 finish.
And it looks like Crum's starting to slow up a little bit as Danny Bone has just opened up a massive gap in 1 lap on him. So either he's saving his stuff or something's wrong.
That went by so quick, and that's the conclusion of Bell Helmet stage number 1. So it's Danny Bone who picks up the victory. A little extra cash and some bonus points that go towards the championship equation. A little cash for Jake Crum as well as Burt Myers, the top 3 at the end of Bell Helmet stage number 1. And what I love about Bell Helmets, definitely their eye is on safety, and they provide safety in terms of helmets for a lot of these drivers in the Smart Modified Tour. But not only there, you can use their helmets in your UTV or wherever you may need it. A lot of safety innovation from the folks of Bell Racing. Visit them